Okay, welcome back everybody for another edition of Scranton MMA Insider. This week's question comes to us from a law enforcement officer who wants to know if Gracie Jiu-Jitsu can help him on the job. Very simple answer, yes it can. We have a great program known as Gracie. Gracie Retention and Control for Immediate Enforcement. Gracie is the defensive tactics and weapons retention course created by legendary UFC champion Royce Gracie.
Royce has incorporated these defensive techniques into a comprehensive training course specifically designed for law enforcement and military personnel.
The Gracie program teaches simple and automatic responses to attacks and is the only defensive tactics program that truly gets an officer to defend themselves and their weapons in any and all altercations. Okay, so for our drill portion of our Gracie course here, we're going to do a pummel drill. The pummel now is designed to gain inside control on an assailant or a non-compliant suspect. Very simple. We lock up. We each have the same type of position here. We have an overhook and we have an underhook. My goal is to be able to get 2 underhooks, gaining a powerful inside control position on an assailant or non-compliant suspect. So a little drill that we like to do to get used to getting that inside control is the pummel drill. I'm going to move my hand inside of Tim's chest, and at the same time he's going to be moving inside of my chest, and we completely switch positions. And we do the same thing again. Pummeling in and out. Getting nice and comfortable with some movement. Eventually picking up the speed a little bit. You notice we're locking shoulders and chests, moving our feet, moving our arms and heads, all the while both practicing how to get the inside position on an assailant or non-compliant suspect. Okay, everybody, so that brings us to the technical portion of our Gracie program. For the technical portion, I brought in our CrossFit head coach, our judo black belt, and Marine Captain Tim Muenkel. This week, we're going to be working on knife defense. Okay, the knife defense is going to be essential for you law enforcement, military personnel, Department of Corrections people in particular enjoy this technique because of the improvised weaponry inside of prisons. So anybody, law enforcement, military personnel, should know their angles of defense regarding knives. What we're going to go with today is the most common form of knife attack, which is just a straight underhand thrust, the assailant trying to stab upwards into your stomach. So we're going to show you how to work that defense. So first things first, when the assailant squares up and he has the knife, my eyes and focus, everything is on that weapon. I'm never ever going to take my eyes and focus off that weapon. Slow-mo here, as that upward thrust comes in, I'm going to hollow out my stomach and send my forearm forward to intercept his wrist. So as soon as I see that first movement, I'm hollowing out my stomach, sending my forearm forward. At the same time, with a false grip, I'm finding his elbow. So that's one quick motion. As soon as I see that blade, hollow out my stomach, block with the forearm, catch with the elbow. I begin to push the wrist through and pull on the elbow. It's going to force the assailant to step forward, or I'm going to break his arm. From here, I'm going to capture his wrist with the crook of my elbow and trap his tricep with the same hand. My right hand will now come around and grab him by the throat, keeping my head away from the elbow strike over here. I don't want to be back here. Keeping my head away from the elbow strike, I can now force it upwards and make him drop the blade. So again, in slow motion, step by step, never taking the focus off of the blade. Forearm block, hollowed out gut. The hand is coming through, false grip on the elbow. I'm pushing and pulling. That's going to force him to step and trap his wrist with the crook of my elbow and his tricep with the same side hand. Now I come in for a rear naked choke style grip, stand him upright, and that's going to force him to let go of the blade. One more time from a different angle. Never taking my focus off the weapon. The weapon begins to come at me. I create the forearm block, hollowing out my gut. The hand comes over with a false grip to find the elbow. And just like everything in Jiu-Jitsu, I got this push-pull motion. I'm pulling on his elbow as I push on his wrist, forcing him to come forward. I wrap his wrist with the crook of my elbow. I trap his tricep with the same hand. This hand comes in, rear naked choke style. I stand him up to create pressure on the blade. And he has to force and drop the blade. Okay guys, so we're gonna go one time here, full speed. Remember, don't practice with a real blade. When you're practicing, start off slow, build up the speed. All right, so don't practice with a real blade on this. I'm squared up with this. Okay guys, thank you once again for joining us on Scranton MMA Insider. Keep your questions coming to us at scrantonmmainsider@yahoo.com, and we'll be sure to continue to answer them. Join us again for future episodes. See you soon.